Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. I am Ross McLean, your host for this evening. I'm here to react to Rangers' recent Europa League fixture as well as a return to the Scottish Premiership this weekend. And if you think that I'm still disappointed after last night's result, then Man U better believe it. I am here with my only guest for this evening, Scott Carney. Scott, it's good to see you, mate. How are we?
Yes, I'm good, mate. Yes, I would agree, mate. A bit of a boot and a bit of a stomach blow, I would say. A punch in the gut, mate, last night. Yeah, it's kind of waking up this morning going, so close, but yet so far away. Unfortunately, just the way that it happened. Yeah, it's good to be here, mate. Good to be on. I hope everybody's surviving the wind that is currently circulating the whole of Scotland. Pretty much, it's been rather wild today. Even in my wee bunker in here, I've still managed to hear it. So, yeah, I hope everybody's okay. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. And yeah, let's do it, mate. Let's dance.
It's been that gusty, mate. It's blown away Ali Pearson from the pod. Unfortunately,
Yes.
he's on leave today. But hopefully see him again very very soon. But just as always, we are live on YouTube, so feel free to get all your comments into the chat. It's great to see all the regulars coming in as always, and like, subscribe. You know what to do. You know what to do. I shall leave you all there. But anyways, mate, there's kind of no other place to go than a trip down to Old Trafford last night. Rangers, in the current storms up and down the country, it would be a bluster at Old Trafford that would take the headlines as Rangers, unfortunately, just coming up short, losing by 2 goals to 1 against Manchester United. Obviously, mate, you and Ali were on the post match last night. I gave it a watch today, and yeah, I said to you before we came on air, I'm not gonna lie, I had a dream that we won last night. I woke up and I thought we won, and gutted isn't even the word. So after the dust is starting to settle, mate. What's your kind of thoughts after the game? For me, it's very much pride. It is pride. Obviously, I'm going up against a Man United outfit that are maybe not flying in the league that you'd expect a club of Manchester United to, be at that stage in the season, but they're no mugs at all, no mugs at all. Their bench alone is scary, never mind their starting 11. So is it similar for yourself, mate? Is it just that kind of feeling of, yeah, you know what, the players gave their all, or it should we come away feeling quite disappointed that we didn't at least pick up a point?
It's. I think you can look at it many ways, mate. I really do. I think at times Rangers were good and we matched them to a certain extent, but you've got to remember the caliber of financial backing you're playing against, how much these players cost and how much these players are on comparison to Rangers. I think I'm disappointed in it. I was. I say the way that we conceded the goal, because it's a silly goal to concede as well late on in the game. Probably tired, yes, all the usual excuses. But it's just that it's a very easy goal for them to score right at the end. And yeah, it was just a bit of a because obviously the high that we got from when we equalised, and you were kind of brought back down to earth, a bit of a clang. So I wouldn't say I'm angry at the team. I wouldn't say I'm angry at them for the levels of effort that they put into it. And also look at the team that we finished with on that pitch. I mean, it's pretty remarkable, really, that we Man United only managed to score two against us. And yeah, Man United are in a poor run of form, but you can tell by the way even that they move the ball, the way that they pass the ball, the way that they move when they were hitting wee grooves when they did at certain points last night. You can tell the gulf in quality. I mean, it's massive. It's clear as day for everybody to see. So yeah, as I say, I think could Rangers feel hard done to? Possibly. I think we had good chances. They had good chances. I think Butland probably made more. Crucial saves, but maybe not by many, maybe by a couple. He had a few more kind of crucial saves than the Man United keeper, but there was it's just the quality levels, I think, mate, really is what it comes back to, and what we have available. But for what we finished with at the end of that game, with the amount of players we've got out injured, with suspensions, players not being in the squad, not been registered for the European squad, I don't think Rangers can feel really too hard done to. I really don't. Anything could have happened. It could have been a hell of a lot worse than 2-1, because if Man United showed up and they were on their game, they would have probably turned us over pretty convincingly and quite easily. whereas I thought we managed to not quite catch them on an off day. It's not the worst I've seen Man United this season, that's for sure. But I don't think either team were really off that kind of free flowing best. All in all, I think a draw would have been fair. I think we probably would have. I think we probably could have just deserved a point, but it's just the way that it happens, mate. That's a bit that sticks in your throat because you're like, what could have been? And because it was so close to the end as well, you knew the game was over. But yeah, pride, mate. Yeah, I'm proud of the efforts that they put in. I'm proud of the youth, the players that they brought on, and it was just unfortunately just two really silly errors, preventable goals. That's always the annoying bit when it's preventable goals that cost us the point in Manchester.
Correct. It's definitely whenever you looked at the Europa League fixtures, Old Trafford was always going to be the one that sticks out as a right. If 3 points doesn't come our way, I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. But for me, I agree with you, mate. I think a point wouldn't have been that wouldn't have been too unrealistic, seeing how the game went. I thought Rangers were good for it last night. I did think it has just come down to those wee details, and on both ends of the pitch, obviously you have some defensive issues. We also had chances to kill the game, especially in that first half. So we'll get into the first half. There was, first of all, from the first minute onwards, the Rangers support, away support, was absolutely superb. Like you could hear them above the whole of Old Trafford. They were. I mean, you saw the videos online. Superb stuff from the travelling support, and hopefully they're all doing all right in the torrential weather that is gracing the UK at the moment. But kind of the opening exchanges, it comes in the 8th minute where Nico Raskin has the first big chance of the game. Superb from Igaman. One thing that was consistent through the whole night was Igaman's link up, and it just shows his brilliance to play it through to Raskin, and just doesn't seem to get the ball right with his feet. Very, very unlucky, and it's these chances, Carney, that we look back at quite a few times in Europe and you think, are these going to bite us? Are these going to be the moments? And there was another moment in the 10th minute where Yilmaz at the back post, great cross from Tav, and Yilmaz he almost side foots it, just put the laces through it, and that's, there could have been 1-0 up there within 10 minutes at Old Trafford, which is just it's an absurd sentence in itself, but is it me being too harsh, mate, saying that it should have been 1-0? Obviously, you are coming up against that calibre, but at the end of the day, it's very hard to not excuse putting at least one of those two chances away.
You have to take your chances in these games, mate. There's no doubt. You have to take your chances when they come, and we got two really early on. I think probably we would have preferred Raskin to be playing the pass and Nigaman to not be on the end of it, but I just don't think he could quite get it from under his feet. I thought it was unlucky. I was like, that's unlucky. I was more frustrated with the after of it because it went out to Yilmaz, who should have swung it to the back post to Tierney, who was in acres of space. He would have probably have had a relatively easy relatively easy attempt on goal to score at that point. So again, that was just a wee bit of lack of composure, a wee bit of rush of blood to the head, which is going to happen, I suppose, in occasions like that, and occasions such as big as that, because it was built up big time as well by TNT and beforehand as well. They were acting like it was a heavyweight boxing match. They really were, but it was. It's good to be involved in it. The Yilmaz one, again, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's not a left winger, is he? I mean, he is a left back at the end of the day, and he is kind of struggling for form. It's one of those ones where you're just, if we'd just done that slightly different, if we'd just done this slightly different, then we probably could have scored. But yeah, at that point, I was thinking, I honestly thought, I was like, we're going to get a chance to score tonight, which was good to see. It was good to see that the Rangers weren't just solely concentrating on containing Man United. It was more like, right, okay, we'll try and take it when we'll try and take the chances when we could. And I think you could see quite early on the way that Rangers were choosing to press as well. It was kind of readjusted just after probably the first quarter of the game or so. He kind of readjusted to what we're doing because they were getting into the midfield a little bit too early, but Rangers weren't giving them any time. When we were triggering the press high, and we were going at them. So look, Rangers went down there to swing, to swing for them, I think. And the two chances, yeah, at the very start, you are going a wee bit. I hope it's not one of those nights. I really do.
Yeah, you always get the fear, especially as us, the scar tissue Rangers fans that we are. We know that feeling way too often. But we go skip a wee bit forward into the game. I think you could see their quality, especially for me, mate. I was down that left hand side. That Garnacho is frightening, the pace of the boy. I think he's linked if I move away. Smudge, thank you very much for the
Thank you so much,
donation
mate.
there. That's very, very kind. Thank you. Yeah, we'll get on to Dessers in a wee bit. There's definitely a lot of conversations to be had there. But the 23rd minute comes along and Manchester United have the ball in the back of the net. Delict headers it in. Now, looking back at it today, there's a full on proper. I'm not gonna lie, if this is given against us, my head's going straight through the telly. I'd be raging if it was me. Proper, it was CJ Nova made the point. It's quite smart from Proper. He gets a wee bit of contact and he's down. But if that happened in an old firm, never mind an old firm, if that happens on Sunday against Rangers, then I'm not a very happy Ross here, unfortunately. So, what's your thoughts after seeing it, mate? It's definitely a controversial one's probably one way to put it.
Yeah, I would say controversial. I would be the same, mate. I wouldn't be very happy if that was rewarded against us. John Lammy, mate, thank you so much for that as well. Very much appreciated. Great start to the pod, honestly. Really do appreciate when you donate stuff to the pod, honestly. I can't tell you how much it means to us. So thank you very much. Yeah, I would be frustrated. I would be very frustrated. I think, as far as I understand the rule, and somebody in the chat's probably going to correct me here, if VAR check it, it has to be a clear and obvious mistake that the referee's made, whereas there is slight contact on the back of Proper as he goes down, which isn't classed as clear and obvious error, so because there is contact there. So I think that's the way the rule is. I think we got away with one. I'm not going to lie. I thought I was like, when I seen it back at the pub at the time, I was going, foul all day long. He's fouled him. But obviously, when you watch it back, you're going, well, we're a bit lucky with that one there. So, but it was a warning sign for us. Man United clearly were whipping the ball into right on top of the goalkeeper. Had identified that they are a much larger team. They're certainly taller players than we have in the current team, and we're at the point where we're kind of struggling for that all in all out, no C's defending. We can just clear the lines, clear the box. We don't really have that kind of centre half just now. So they identified a bit. No, and in terms of that disallowed goal, I wouldn't be happy if it was Rangers getting that disallowed against us, especially if we'd scored that goal at Old Trafford to take the lead. I wouldn't be very happy about that.
No, not at all, not at all. But
I'll take it. I was at the time. I was like,
aye.
I'll take it. 100%. I'll take it.
110%, 110%. These referees on my Christmas card list for this year. Don't you worry about that. But we go into the rest of the game, and ultimately we go in, mate, and it's 0-0 at half time. For me, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. It was very. How do you describe it? It was very organised, very structured, and everything that we want to come away seeing. Catalyst as well. Thank you very much for the donation.
Thank you.
That's unbelievable, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, just you're going in and we're in a good position. I don't know what your Man U team thought would have been like, but Rangers, focusing on Rangers, you should be going in and very much more the same. Finish your chances, and you never know what's going to happen from the game. Now, the second half comes along, mate, and we're instantly made into some substitutions as Bailey Rice comes on for young Connor Barron, and the Cosland comes on for Balogun, putting Tav at centre back. Just one sigh is all that's needed. Rangers injuries. What do we do, mate? What do we do? Obviously, I will come into some injuries in a wee while in terms of potential solutions, but no luck is again a way of putting it.
Yeah, I think, and no disrespect to Balogun here, and I don't mean any disrespect to him because I like the guy, I really do. I just think he's getting to the age now where his body's going, I can't do this anymore because it's cropping up far too often for him now. And look, in all due respect to Balogun, he wasn't brought here to play game in. I know he's not really been playing game in, game out, but he's probably played a lot more football than he probably expected to. But I think his body is getting to that point where it can't take wee knocks, it can't take a knock that it would maybe take at the start of the game and he'd be able to play through it, which is unfortunate. It really is. Barron, I hope it's nothing too serious for him. The good thing is, in the nicest possible way to Barron, he isn't our first choice. I think we all know that Raskin is our first choice just now, but hopefully it's not too serious, because the injuries are just, they're getting out of control again. They really are. When I seen James Tavernier was moving to right centre half, mate, I won't lie, the first time, as soon as I seen it, I was like, what are we doing? I was like, this is Man United. I was like, it's not Fraser, bro. Like, we're playing against Man United. And I know, as I say, but people are always saying Man United aren't very good. No, they're not very good, but they're still Man United, and they're still bringing on £250 million players off the bench. We can't even get close to anywhere near something like that. So yeah, James Tavernier going to right centre half, I was like, this is interesting. This is extremely interesting. However, I was absolutely delighted. I mean, delighted to see that he brought on Bailey Rice. I just thought, fair play to you, Clement. Honestly, fair play to you. If this is a change of tactic and a change of approach and what Clement is planning to do with youth players going forward, then I am all for it. Because when Barry went down initially in the first half, the camera panned over to the bench and you seen Bailey Rice go for a warm up, and then you seen Dowell, and I was just like, don't you dare. Don't you dare put Dowell on that pitch, because he doesn't deserve to be there. Bailey Rice is somebody that we're all really excited about and have been for a while. It's not as if it's just new. He's obviously kind of disappeared off the kind of radar and away from the fringes of the team as well. Whereas he came on, and I think he done himself justice really in that second half. I like the lad. I think he looks great. I'm all for giving the youth a bit more chance, and yeah, I'll give Clement credit for bringing them on. But yeah, at the start of the second half, I was going Tav at centre half. This is going to be interesting.
It is interesting, mate. It was interesting indeed, and obviously we'll come to a bit later in the game, but just on Tav quickly, I thought Tav was tremendous last night. It was a performance, especially in the second half at centre back. Tav was, for me, up there with one of my man of the matches. So fair play to Clement and fair play to Tav, obviously. But yeah, it comes to the 52nd minute of the game, mate, and you know, going into the game, I was thinking the word Ahmad would be used for the context of Ahmad Diallo, but instead it's a mad moment from Jack Butland as the cross comes in from the corner, and I don't know what else to say. He punches it into his own net. It's something that I've broken many controllers over during FIFA when it happens. It's something that I can't say I've seen it in modern times in real life. It's a moment of madness, and you take that moment away, you'd probably say Button has a good game because, as we say, he did have a few good saves. But what? Surely there's no excuses for that, mate. Manchester United fans will probably say that's Button's best moment in a Man U shirt.
Yeah, probably. I played at Old Trafford, mate. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's and just quickly, I touched on James Tavernier at centre half. Tav was terrific last night. He really was. Tav was great. I have no complaints with Tavernier at all. I thought he was good, and I say it didn't prove me wrong. But obviously, I'm going to have my reservations because defending doesn't tend to be strong point, and the centre half kind of needs to defend from time to time. So, but no, Tavernier was great. He really did, and he received quite a lot of credit and a lot of praise for his performance last night, and I think he deserves it. Butland, you're right, mate. You take the instant, you take the first goal out of the equation, and Butland was solid all night. He made some really good saves. He kept us in the game at points, but this is just something that it can't be excused. It's unacceptable on every level. At this level, at that precise point in that game, it's you just can't do that. You just cannot. You can't do that. He's got it all completely wrong, and he's punched it into the back of his own net. It's concerning the amount of errors that is creeping into Jack Butland's game. It's not the only one he's made this season. He's made a few, and I don't know what it is. Whether it's a don't know, lack of hunger, considering that there's nothing to go for him domestically. Maybe he was trying a little bit too hard last night, considering where he was and where he was returning to. Obviously, after previously playing for Man United, I don't know. Whatever it is, and it's just an absolute howler. It really is a stinker, and not what we needed. Not at that time. I thought Rangers were doing well to contain them. Butland as well, saving shots that we are getting through the ones that we're getting through the back line. But for Butland to go and do that, it took the wind out of everybody's sails. I think even the players' sails as well. Even, as I say, in the pub, it was a bit of a sigh, I think, from kind of everyone, because I think we all feared we could be in for a long night after that, and we didn't really know how the team were probably going to react. But people are saying Kelly should maybe have been kept his space over Butland. I don't think Kelly does much better in that situation either. I don't think he's great at coming for crosses. Not every keeper's great at that. It's hard to get an all-round keeper that's good at absolutely everything in terms of what it is to be a commanding goalkeeper and a shot-stopping goalkeeper and a goalkeeper that can play with his feet, etc. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't really concerned about the errors now that Butland is that we're seeing from Butland, and I don't think Kelly should be the number one. No disrespect to Kelly, I don't think he's better than Butland, but Butland's errors are probably the thing that's going to cost him. And to do it on that stage, the offers that we were all thinking, oh, we wouldn't sell Jack Butland, it might look a wee bit silly now, maybe a wee bit egg on our faces. But again, you never know what's going to happen with a player. But it was a really disappointing way to go behind.
Yeah, it's something ever since that cup final with Butland. There's been those moments, and before that, I can't think of too many that it happened. Even I think it was start of pre-season this year, away against Ajax in a friendly. It was a Butland mistake, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not sure what it is. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there'll be many opportunities this season that if Butland wants to come back in form, there'll be plenty of opportunities for it. There's still old firms to play. There'll still be potentially cup finals to play. So I'm hoping it is just a bit of a rough spell for Butland, and he can get back to the Butland that we know. In the 58th minute, we have another injury. Would you believe it? Your Rangers bingo card, tick it off, because Václav Tierney comes off, and on comes Curtis, which is, again, you're seeing these positive substitutions of youth players. Some would look at it on the other hand and say it's even more frustrating that, Hadji, if he's available, he comes in straight away. But look at it in the terms of there's a young lad getting the chance to go and make his European debut at Old Trafford, no less. So he comes on, and pretty soon after that, you've got a proper heading off the line from Garnacho in the 60th minute. And then one moment that I've highlighted is Rio Ferdinand rightly points out that Ridvan Yilmaz is getting an absolute doing on his side. It was not his finest ever, Ridvan Yilmaz, mate, but where are we with Ridvan Yilmaz? I know that there's a certain Mr. Haymarch who will be gutted to hear speaking in such a way about the Turkish, but ever since really that old firm, maybe say he was good against Aberdeen, but I've not been too convinced with Yilmaz. I don't know about you. It's a position that I think going back a few months ago, with Jeffrey being in the form that he was in, I didn't see a way Ridvan was getting back in. Not a chance for me. It's probably just the the injuries that have made him come into right back, and obviously last night's playing more up left wing at times. But where are you with Ridvan just now, mate? For me, if an offer comes in from him, I'd be getting him one of the first names gone for me.
I agree. I think if the money, if we could recoup the money that we spent on him, I would also let him go as well. I think I didn't think Jeffrey was particularly great, and not just in the way that we conceded the goal. I didn't think Jeffrey was great all night. I thought on the left, when Yilmaz was playing over on the left in front of Jeffrey, I thought it was working to an extent because both of them could kind of double up on Amad Diallo, and you could kind of see why that was there. It was to try and protect our left hand side. I don't think he was okay in the first half. Nothing amazing. The experiment of Yilmaz right back, I'm finished with that now. I would rather not see that. Let's do something else instead of doing that because it doesn't work. I don't think he performs well at right back. He's had one performance there that he was good when the whole team were good as well, but apart from that, I've not seen enough to make me think that that's a really viable option going forward. It's something that we need to address, whether that's recruiting somebody before the end of this window that can come in and be the backup to Tavernier. Maybe Tavernier's going to be our centre half now. Who knows what's going to happen? But I just don't think the the left back at right back thing with Yilmaz is working. So yeah, I'd be the same, mate. If there was an offer to come in for Yilmaz, I don't think the club would be difficult to deal with either. I'd be looking to move him on because his form's very erratic, and that's probably being polite about it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would agree. It's a shame because Ridvan is a player that we brought in for a good bit of money, and you'd hope that a player like him would kick on. I've just not seen it, unfortunately. I'd be interested to see what Ryan's thoughts would be on it, but I imagine he's a wee bit head over the pillow at the moment whenever Ridvan's on the ball because it just seems that, especially last night, he couldn't do really much good. But again, hopefully, if he does stay at the club, it's one that we hopefully see kick on soon. Just quickly, mate, I want to touch on the guy who's getting a lot of chat in the comments. Bailey Rice. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but the boy looks brilliant. He looks absolutely brilliant. There was probably one main chance that stands out in my mind. It's a through ball that he played. And as soon as it happened, you could hear Rio Ferdinand in the commentary going, "Yeah, I like the look of him. I like the look of him." And when a player like of that caliber's giving you praise, you must be doing something right. So surely this is an opportunity. Now I saw Justin say it in the chat. Surely he deserves a start at the weekend. It's a guy who, we've been speaking so much about get the youth in. They've done it on no less the biggest stage. Surely it's something to continue.
There's no excuse now, mate. There is absolutely zero excuse for Bailey Rice not to be involved on a much regular basis. Do I think he's going to become a starter? I think that's going to be down to him. I really do. I think when he gets his chances, he needs to impress. I think he did last night. I don't think he done any harm to himself at all. I thought he managed the occasion fine. I really did. I thought he was promising. He is promising. It's a player that I've been wanting to see a lot more of for a long time now, and we're eventually getting to see it. And maybe, as I say, with the new direction that hopefully we're going in under this new CEO, that maybe this is part of the plan. Maybe there's players there that are ready to contribute. There's players within the B team, within the youth ranks that can make a real impact on the first team. And Curtis and Rice are the two that are kind of standing out. And Lovelace, I think he was unlucky not to get on last night, but things changed after the Dessers goal. But yeah, Rice for me, I hate being too critical of a guy that wasn't even playing, but with Diomande, I still struggle sometimes to really get behind him. I think there's too many times in games that he goes missing. I've spent quite a lot of time just watching him solely when I've been at Ibrox, and I get a bit confused about what he's doing and his movement sometimes. I might be being critical of him, but he's one guy that I'm struggling to take to. I think he's got quality, don't get me wrong, but for the outlay that we paid for him, I would like a little bit more. Might be harsh, maybe, possibly. It's just my opinion, but I would be playing Rice over him every day of the week, mate. I would prefer to see Rice playing. The reason I think he won't is because the investment we made in Diomande, but hopefully he can be used in some form of rotation with him. Diomande's played quite a lot of football, and probably more than the sports scientist would like anyway. So Bailey Rice would be a good one to be a part of rotation, and I think he looks ready. You might as well now. You have to domestically as well in the league. That it is extremely unlikely that Rangers are going to be even close to being involved in a title race. So utilise the time that you have. Fans will be understanding, I think. Honestly, I do. I think there'll be a certain element of understanding when it's youth players that are getting the chance. And I'm just desperate to see more of it, mate. I'm desperate to see more of him. I think he could be a real asset for us. I really do. And yeah, long may it continue. As I say, if it's this change of direction by Clement, then I'm really all for it. So before you go, mate, Adam Drake has bought the podcast 3 coffees. Adam, thank you very much, mate. That is very much appreciated. And he said, enjoy a few drinks for the Best Rangers pod. I will. We will. I'll buy Ross a water, but water isn't very expensive. So I'll buy him a glass bottle of water. Does that taste better, Ross? I don't know. You better know better than me, mate. But no, Adam, thank you very much, mate. It's appreciated.
Thank you, Adam. That means there's more pints for yourself, Ali, mate. And it's just the generous man that I am. But
I don't need more pints. I had maybe one too many last night, mate, to be honest.
Just as long as it's not those rums, and we'll be all good.
No, I definitely had a rum before I went home. I remember that since all my eyes. I went, God, I had a rum on a school night. What am I doing?
School night. At least what was called off today. So we'll take that.
Yeah.
So we go on to the closing stages of the game, it comes to the 88th minute, and the man, the myth, the enigma that is Cyril Dessers. There's a ball floated in from Tav. You have Dessers tussling with Maguire, gets the better of him, and it's a goal that I could only see Dessers scoring. He has very little time, but the finish is out of this world. It's unbelievable from Dessers, and it's bedlam in the away end. It's one each. It looks like about to finish, drawn at Old Trafford. What's your thoughts just now, mate? It's Cyril Dessers, a guy who yes, that is 4 goals in his last 2 games. Yes, I know it was a cup game, but what else could we say about Cyril Dessers? I think it could be one of his last in a Rangers shirt, but if it is, what a way to go.
What a way to go, mate. I just unbelievable. It really is just unbelievable. Like, as soon as he got brought on, Dixie's like, he'll score a double. We'll win this 2-1. He's like, watch this. He'll come on and he'll score. I think the ball from James Tavernier's point not spoke about enough. The pass is absolutely tremendous to him. The work that Dessers does here, man, and I know it's against Harry Maguire, who's as consistent as Cyril Dessers is. It's just unbelievable. It's world class finishing. Like, there's no way you're telling me it isn't first class finishing. What a goal! I was like kind of gobsmacked at it, genuinely gobsmacked, literally standing, hands on the side of my head, going, "What? What?" Absolutely superb. Your pub went absolutely mental, and yeah, Dessers does this to you, doesn't he? He does these things. He scores a hat trick. I know it was against Fraserburgh, but he scores a hat trick and then he scores an absolute worldie against Man United, and you're going, should we get rid of him? Should we be getting rid of him? But you forget, I suppose, if you were seeing Cyril Dessers for the first time last night playing for Rangers, and he scores that goal at Old Trafford, and then heard through the grapevine that Rangers are thinking about getting rid of him, you'd be going, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Like, the guy can clearly score goals. But look, full credit again to Dessers here. Like, he has stuff like this in his locker. It's the inconsistencies of him that's all drove us all crazy. And when he's bad, he's terribly bad, like really bad. I don't think he fits what we would usually do in a game plan, if that makes sense. And domestically, I don't think it works with him being up front. I think the likes of Bigger Man is much more mobile than what Dessers is, but I can't say anything against the big man after last night. I can't say anything. It might be his last one. It's a hell of a way to put yourself in a shop window. He might have added another million onto his transfer fee, considering the way that he took that goal. But full credit to him, mate. And yes, at that point, mate, I thought, a draw at Old Trafford after the way this game's went with the players that we've got on that park, I will take that.
Definitely would take that. It's Dessers. It's such a weird story with Dessers. It's such a unique story. For me personally, I do hope that he goes in the window more for his sake. If he goes out after scoring a hat trick in his last Ibrox game where he captained the team and then scoring at Old Trafford, that's the way it should go with Dessers. Let it. It's maybe not been the smoothest journey, but if this is the end, then it's been some ride, Cyril. So we thank you. We do thank you.
Yeah, the
And
sniper
then
has made a comment there. Sorry, if he was on a lower wages and a third choice, it wouldn't. Yeah, I do agree with you. I do.
yeah,
I get where you're coming from. It is the wage. It's the whole thing surrounding Dessers. It's the money we spent on him. It's the wage that he's on. I do understand that. I really do. Do I think we could sell him and use the money to bolster the squad in other areas and bring quality in other areas? Absolutely. But yeah, as you said, mate, I don't want to repeat it, but if a sign off is a goal against Man United at Old Trafford, then fair play to you, Cyril Dessers.
yeah, no, definitely. Let's just hope that it all ends well for Cyril, and more importantly, we move forward as a team. And then 4 minutes later, a whopping 4 minutes later, we have another goal in the game. Unfortunately, it is not in our favour. A ball comes in from the left hand side. Jeff Day doesn't pick up his man. The on-rushing Bruno Fernandes, and it's 2-1. It's 2-1, and that is game, set, and match after 88 minutes of grit, 88 minutes of hard work from the team, and it can all go in that short space of time. When I tell you I felt flat after the game, it doesn't begin to describe it. Oh, obviously we've all probably watched the highlights. We've all seen it back. It doesn't get any easier watching it. Jeff D's obviously going to be the one who probably gets the most criticism. What's your thoughts after seeing it back, mate? Is it, obviously Jeff D, I know he is a young lad, he is a professional footballer. Is it just where he's learning curves? Obviously, it's the consequence of it is the magnitude is huge, but Jeff D won't look back in that too fondly, I don't think.
He was just sleeping, mate. He was just absolutely sleeping at the back post. Fernandez, who I honestly think wasn't really in the game. I don't really remember thinking he was having a massive impression on the game. And yeah, for it to be like that, just if Jeffy's just on, just switched on just for that brief second, just to match his runner even, and just put the pressure on Fernandez to make it more difficult for him to score, then you'd be like, fair enough, it's just a moment of class, but it's so glaringly obvious that he just switches off and Fernandez is away. And as soon as the ball goes in and you've seen the red shirt going to get to it first, you all knew exactly what was about to happen. It was a real boot in the vegetables, mate. It really was. It was a sore one. It was a sore one. I was like, oh, just taken away from me, because at that point we had nothing left. We didn't. Jeffy was probably knackered as well, but you can't really give them the benefit of the doubt, because you have to be at that level, against that level of opposition, with that level of caliber of player. You have to be switched on. These guys don't switch off. Like these players don't switch off. They constantly on it. And yeah, just that brief minute, mate. It's always sore. It's always sore to lose a goal, to get beaten in injury time. It's never going to be easy, no matter what level you're playing at. But yeah, that was a real sickener, mate. Took the wind right out of everybody's sails, because we were on a right high for 4 minutes, as you said. So unfortunately, Jeff, they won't escape the criticism, and he probably doesn't deserve to escape the criticism. It's just it's a mistake. It's a howler from him. He just has to match that run, and he doesn't. And it's an easy goal for Man United. And yeah, that's all she wrote. But it was a sore one to take.
Yeah, it's not half. It's definitely a song to take, and that's pretty much all the action from the game. That was Rangers 1, Manchester United 2. A game that we will look back at with, I'm sure a lot of talking points from the game. That's for sure, a lot of talking points. There's definitely positives to take from it. Don't get me wrong. The one is the young lads getting their chance. I think the majority of, I saw Tav's post match obviously come on as well, very much saying that the youth coming in was positive to see. But let's keep kicking on with it. Let's keep kicking on with, getting the youth players bedded in, and, really seeing them kick on. The Catalyst, again, thank you very, very much for that. That is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Now, ladies and gents, we've got a short segment as a wee experiment for Club Live. I've decided to be a wee bit of devil's advocate, if you will, in terms of how would Rangers do in the Premier League? Now, we've obviously just had that Manchester United game. We did have Tottenham before the turn of the year. It's very much a conversation that's been had over the years, mate. How would Rangers do in the Premier League? But what we've got is we've got a run of 5 fixtures, and it's up to, well, we'll talk about it as well, but it's up to yourself in the comments how you'd see us doing in these 5 fixtures and the current forms of each team in the Premier League. So we'll go right through them, mate, and then we'll come to the end of a kind of where you think we'd see us finish in the Premier League. Now these 5 teams, I've kind of picked them. I've kind of been a bit picky with them in terms of teams that are okay, maybe forms sometimes out the window, but obviously you have 2 teams at the end there, which we'll get on to, which are no mugs, is a polite way to put it. So first of all, mate, if we were to come up in the Premier League, and just quickly, all the home games would be at Ibrox, and then away games would be in their respective stadiums. So first of all, if we were to have West Ham United at Ibrox, mate, in the Premier League, how would you see Rangers getting on?
This is all very difficult to. I like the idea of this, mate. I do. Don't get me wrong, but it's the investment that Rangers would get if we went into the Premier League would probably be massive. It probably would be. We are quite a big institution club. We're a worldwide club. It would be easy for an investor to get involved in that due to the size of the stadium and whatever else. But when it's just Premier League games, yeah, who knows? Honestly, who knows? I think with the investment that comes along with English football, I think we would probably do not too bad. But if we're starting with West Ham at home, I'm taking Rangers 2-1, mate, all day long. I really am.
We'll take that. We'll take that. By the way, obviously it was just a few years ago in the Europa League, and both Rangers and West Ham were semi-finalists. So you've maybe like that, and I even feel like they were Ibrox as well for pre-season. Big Tony goals, I believe, getting a goal that day. So
Big Tony
I'd
goals.
I think definitely a 2-1 would be nice. To be fair, I'd say a 2 or 3-1. Like West Ham defensively at the moment aren't the strongest, so I reckon 2-3-1 would probably be reasonable. Second on the list, we have Ipswich away. Now, Ipswich, newly promoted Ipswich, not having the greatest season in the Prem, but how would you fancy your chances against a team like Ipswich, mate? Obviously, they've got some quality, like your Delap, etc., but could we nick some points off Ipswich?
Yeah, probably, mate. Yeah, again, I think Ipswich are a team that are. One of the guys I work with is an Ipswich fan, and he gets very frustrated with them because they have their good and their bad. They're probably a bit like us to a certain extent. But yeah, look, now as you say, if we were to play Ipswich, I think we would fare okay. I think the Rangers would get well against most teams at Ibrox. I think we know what Ibrox can be like, but Ipswich, yeah, again, I'll take Rangers 2-1 at Ipswich as well, mate. I know that's very boring, but I'll take Rangers to win 2-1 at Ipswich.
2-1, we'll take that. I'm going 3-0 Rangers, mate. I'm going 3-0 Rangers. My dog would
Oft.
tend to agree with that, by the way. My dog would tend to agree as he barks in the background. But I'm going 3-0 Rangers against Ipswich. And then you've got Everton at home, a team who defensively are very, very strong at the moment. Obviously, your Jordan Pickford looking to be in the peak of his powers at the moment in that Everton side. But how do you see Everton favouring at Ibrox? I reckon for me, they know how to keep the back door shut. I reckon I'll probably go with yourself, mate, on a 2-1 for Rangers.
Yeah, the Everton game would be a bit meaty, mate. I think that would be a little bit meaty. That's a bit of a ding dong, that one. Yeah, again though, look, Everton are a team that are in a kind of bad state just now. Currently, the way that they are, yeah, again, I think Rangers at Ibrox, you've got to take Rangers there. I think it's always interesting to think what kind of team we would possibly be. I don't think. I mean, obviously, it was rumoured plenty of times about the possibility of Rangers playing Rangers and Celtic moving a kind of British league. I don't think realistically it's ever going to happen because I think it would very much spell the end for any sort of real proper investment in the in Scottish football. And that's no disrespect. I just think that's genuinely the case. But with Everton teams like that, that's where I would probably see Rangers being around if we were to first go into the Premier League. Would be at that kind of Everton level, if that makes sense. I think within probably 5 to maybe 10 years, depending again on investment, but even the TV money alone down south would transform Rangers. It really would transform us. I think we could be pushing for top 6. I really do, just due to the size of it. So Everton at home, 3-0 Rangers, and a Cyril Dessers hat-trick. So that's what I'll go with.
Cyril, you're going nowhere, son, until Everton comes to Ibrox. We're saving you. We are saving you. Number 4 on the list, mate. No, not John Lundstrom. We have got Tottenham away. Tottenham just coming up to Ibrox there for the one each game. A team who are very, very mixed at the moment. Let's be fair. Definitely not doing the best in their recent history. I reckon you'd probably see not too dissimilar result to maybe at Ibrox, maybe a one each. Although we have seen Tottenham concede quite a few goals. So I think my optimistic head would say 2-1 Rangers. My realistic head would probably say potential one each again. What about yourself?
I think Tottenham, an informed Tottenham beats Rangers just now. I don't think
Oh,
there's any doubt about that. I think they would easily beat Rangers in a kind of league form. So I would say for sure it would be Tottenham that would win that. I don't think there's any great doubt in that. Again, just due to the finances. But some away trip though. The stadium's fantastic, mate. So it would be some away trip. Tottenham Stadium is one that I would love to go to. But no, unfortunately, I don't see us winning away against Tottenham, mate. I don't think that would happen.
No, mate, just my youth getting the best of it there. Just my optimistic, blinded by the lights. But then you have the final game, which is the most relevant of current times: Manchester United at Ibrox. Now, obviously last night with that 2-1 defeat, it does make you question, could we put up a fight against a team like that at home soil? Are we taking the early lead that we've seen against a Dortmund, a Leipzig? Obviously, it was a few years ago, but are we taking that early advantage? Obviously, Rangers in Europe this season have been superb. Is a game at Ibrox at home to Man U the sort of game that would be one of those famous nights? For me, I reckon you flip last night's score, and that's your score for Man U at home. I do genuinely believe that. Again, I hope I'm not coming across as too unrealistic here, but I could see Rangers 2, Manchester United 1 if it was at Ibrox. What about yourself, mate? It's obviously all hypothetical here. As we say, this is very much just a bit of fun, but I reckon we obviously this is also during the league as well, so it might even not be a Thursday night. But let's say a Wednesday night, a cold Wednesday night at Ibrox midweek. I reckon Rangers beat Man U 2-1.
Yeah, probably. I think last night, genuinely, and yeah, I can see people in the chat getting a bit carried away with themselves. A bit of a laugh, everybody. Like we're only having a bit of a laugh and a joke, something a little bit different. It's okay. It's okay to sometimes just relax a little. But I think last night, generally, and the way that the game was going in that first half in particular, I think if you flip that stadium to Ibrox last night, I think Rangers got a result, because I think we all know, and I'm not being over the top of that, I think we all know what Ibrox can do on a Thursday night. And I generally think the way that the game went, before that, I would have been the same. I'd have been going, I don't know, but going to Ibrox, do you know what I mean? They could show up, because obviously we know what happened when Liverpool came to town. So you can't really forget that night in a hurry. But I think the way that the game went last night, I think if that we say we went behind and then Dessers scores, I think we at least keep the draw, and maybe go on to win it. But I think I would have fancied Rangers at Ibrox last night. The way that the game went. So in the league though, yeah, that's one of your big fixtures, isn't it? That's one of the ones that you would circle if you were playing in a kind of British league. So yeah, that'd be one that you would circle. So but yeah, a cold Wednesday night, I think Rangers have got enough to do the business there, mate. Again, it's all hypothetical as well, because God knows who would be playing for us with the money that we would have been down in England. But if it was to happen, that's the one thing that I think would. I'm not saying I'm totally for it. A kind of British league, or I would be totally against it either. I'd be very much on the fence and open to hearing a discussion. Again, hypothetically, if it was ever to come to the table, which it probably never will. But if something like that was to happen, it would just be the investment of money into the club that I would love to see, just to see what we could potentially reach, how much bigger can the club get than it already is. So I think it would be that would be the most interesting bit for me to see, is just how the money's invested and then the calibre of player that would be attracted to come to play for you. But we all can dream, mate. We all can dream.
We all could do, no doubts, Barry, that Balogun would still be our first choice centre half.
Yes,
he'd still be there. He would still be there.
Half would still be captain as well. Yes,
of
that would annoy everybody greatly. It would.
Tondo still coming off the bench. It's obviously it is a wee bit of fun. Just thought I'd spice it up a wee bit, seeing that there's no Ali Pearson this evening. So hope everyone enjoyed that there. But back to the realistic league football, as Rangers return back to league business with a trip up to Tannadice to take on Dundee United on Sunday at 12 o'clock. Now, European football, back to league football, mate, is kind of like when you get to the end of your Christmas biscuit tin. It was class, it was fun while it lasted, but back to the standard, back to the rich tea. But Dundee United, as things stand, are sitting third in the league, 10 points behind Rangers, off the back of a 1-0 Scottish Cup defeat to their closest rivals, Dundee. So it's definitely been a mixed start to the year for them. 2025, they've had 2 wins, 2 losses domestically in the league. Your 2 losses coming against Celtic and Hearts. So obviously we had that frustrating one each game at Ibrox with them, with Tierney getting the goal. I think it was kind of late on in the second half, but how do you see Dundee United go, mate? It's a game that obviously we know the situation with the away form. It's far from ideal. If there's ever a place, bar Parkhead, to go and turn league form around just now and kind of say, right, this is kind of pushing on, it's probably Dundee United at the moment, the team who ultimately are third in the league. So how are you feeling going into Sunday, mate? Are you Are you any more or less confident after seeing last night's game? And yeah, what's your kind of overall kind of first thoughts?
The harder of the two away games this week is coming up on Sunday. Put it that way. That's how
Correct.
I'm feeling about Sunday, mate. Do I have any confidence that Rangers will improve their away form? No, because they've not shown me any previous to make me think domestically. They've not shown me any previous evidence to suggest that that will be the case. So I think we're in for a tough one again, mate. I think it's going to be a tough game. Dundee United have had a bit of a mixed season, there's no doubt, but they're doing pretty well just now. Obviously helped with the sheer decline of Aberdeen since the start of the season. It's obviously been helped for them to get themselves to third, and yeah, look, it'll be a tough game. It really will be. They'll fancy it, mate. They'll studied us against our previous away form, and it's coming off of a European game, the European hangover, yada yada. All the stuff that usually gets flung about is Sunday. Is it 12 o'clock kickoff? A 12 o'clock kickoff. Brilliant. Can't wait. So obviously the only good thing is that we only came back from England last night, so it's not as if we came from somewhere kind of far away in Europe. So that's probably a benefit. It's not too far to travel, and yeah, look, I would. It's almost impossible to predict what Rangers are going to show up. It'll be interesting to see who's injured and who isn't, and it's going to be interesting to see who he decides to stick with and who he decides to change and play with. I would I would take any form of win, anything just to break this kind of cycle that we're on just now in terms of playing away from home. A great performance and a convincing 3-0 win would be very welcome by, I think, every Rangers fan. But unfortunately, the evidence suggests that that won't happen. So, look, it's up to Clement to fix this. If he's the guy that's going to be remaining in charge until at least the end of this season anyway, which is clearly what looks like is going to be the case, then it's up to him to fix this. It's up to him to fix whatever problems he has and find a solution to get us winning games of football away from home again in the league. And I expect, as I say, I expect a tough game. I really do. And I know I'm sounding a wee bit like Clement there, but it's going to be a difficult game. I really do think it is going to be difficult. Dundee United will make it extremely hard for us. And it's all helped with a wee bit of needles, the fact that we all hate them. I absolutely despise Dundee United and everything about them for many reasons. So it's all kind of added with that. Yeah, so look, mate, it's a difficult one to try and predict. I know obviously we're on a podcast and you've got to try and do something like that, but I would honestly just take any win on Sunday. I really would.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not one that it's not the easiest fixture we're going to get in the close term, that's for sure. Quickly, we'll jump on to just quickly on the whole injury situation. You go into this game at the weekend and you're already three men down from the weekend. Obviously, your positive is that you have Hadji back. You have Inciala coming back. You'll have Diamande. But for me, I reckon you don't the youth players, you don't change too much around. I wouldn't even think about bringing in. I swear, if Kieran Dowell's playing there instead of a Curtis, don't switch it up too much. I think Clement hopefully knows what's going to work in his favour, and it's playing the homegrown talent. You'll hopefully see the response from. We heard when Bailey Rice came on at Ibrox, even heard when he went down injured, when he came back off. The fans are behind them. If Clement can understand that, then we can be heading in the right direction. So just quickly, mate, surely we don't change much from the youth. I think we keep them playing.
I agree. I agree. No matter what the injuries look like, and look, the injuries are still a real concern. There's absolutely no doubt that there is. We are continuously on this cycle of players being injured. I don't know what happens at the club. I don't know what needs to happen at the club. There needs to be some reform of what we are doing with players. I know every team gets injuries. It is football. It is going to happen. But the levels that we get are ridiculous, and they tend to be reoccurring as well. They tend to be maybe not exactly. I mean reoccurring in terms of the players, not the same injuries, but it's reoccurring in terms of players. So yeah, I think that still needs addressed. The new CEO's got a whole job in itself, just addressing that in terms of how do we really reduce the amount of players that get injured on a consistent basis. So I'd be starting there. That's one of the main things to be fixed because it's never ending. It really is never ending. It's just constantly somebody else gets injured. I think Tierney getting injured, who hasn't been particularly great recently, but he's still got something in him that can. He just makes something happen in a game. Usually, he usually get a goal scoring opportunity. at some point he doesn't tend to give up. So it's a sickener as well, him going off injured. But I agree, I wouldn't be changing too much, mate, and I would be, if anything, playing more of the youth players. As you'll see by what I've decided to do, what I would do in my starting 11. I would be continuing on with it. I really would be continuing on. I don't know if Clement will. I think he'll probably understand the magnitude of the game on Sunday, and I think the players that you've just mentioned will come back into the team. But I think he should keep the fans on side for as long as he can, because I think if he just completely strips it, all of them back out, and maybe doesn't even have them on the bench on Sunday, people will get fed up, and it'll be much anticipated. I think the starting 11 that we go with on Sunday, people will be looking out for it maybe more than they usually do.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's the one name for me that I will get onto our teams and scores. When a player like Bailey Rice is putting in that sort of performance last night, you don't drop him. You don't drop him. You give him the rewards that he deserves. Obviously, I think Clement said in his presser that he's maybe not ready for starting games, but surely he can slot in there. I don't know. It's maybe me being naive, but I think a lot of people in the chat as well would say that get the youth in and see where they take us. You've got to find out some way or another. You can't keep kicking the can down the road until we are literally scraping at the bare bones, and then they get their chance. If we can give them a chance just now, while things look obviously not great domestically, but try and fix the roof while the sun is not shining, but it's not raining yet. It's just slightly windy. But anyways, we'll get into our teams and scores, mate. I shall let you kick us off with your starting 11.
So I don't expect him to change Butland. I think Butland will remain in goal. I think the right back will be James Tavernier. I think it will be Proper and Enciala at the back. Again, I know we mentioned him last night on the post-match. Robin Proper last night for me was fantastic. I gave him my man of the match last night. I thought he was great. I thought he didn't do anything wrong. I really don't. I thought he was solid pretty much the full 90. I thought he was superb. So yeah, I'll go with A2 centre half pair and Jeff Day at left back. My midfield would be Raskin, Rice, and I'm toying with this one because Barami hasn't kicked a ball, and I would rather not see Barami just now. I think I'll go Hadji in the 10. And yeah, I think I'll go Hadji in the 10. What does that leave me with? I think Barami's going to need to play. Yeah. Barami, by the way, he's another podcast on his own right now. That guy, he's not doing anything really for us. He was non-existent last night during the game. He really was. So, but I think he is, because of the lack of Tierney being there. I think he's going to need to play. Because I would have went, if Tierney had been fit, I'd have went Tierney, Lovelace, and Igaman up front. But I'll go Barami in the 10, Hadji on the left, Lovelace on the right, and Igaman up front. That's what I'll go with my team. I don't really think Barami deserves to play, but right now I think we're limited. Unless he brings Tom Lawrence back in, but I think that's a step backwards doing that. But it might get more out of the number 10 position if we play Lawrence instead of Barami. Don't know, a difficult one. They say Barami right now is not my flavour of the week at all. I just don't know what he's offering. He's not bringing anything to the team, and he's anonymous most games that he's playing. So real concerns about him. But yes, I'll go with that as my team, and I'll go 2-1 Rangers, and I'll go Lovelace to score first.
I like that a lot. I'm not too dissimilar to yourself, mate. I think Butland will stay in goals. Back four, Tav, Proper, Inshallah back in, Jeffy. I'm going to go midfield 3 of, I think, Raskin. I think Dio will probably come back in. Start Bailey Rice. Please start Bailey Rice. That's all I'm going to ask for. That's my midfield. And then front 3, I'm going Hadji, Lovelace, Igaman. That's a front 3 that for probably the first time in a while, mate, I've probably looked back and said that's an exciting front 3.
I agree.
Especially with young Lovelace, who he was, probably one of the most spoken about players in the cup game. Is a guy who I want to see a lot more frequently, because we know the quality he's got. So I'm going to go 3-1 Rangers, and I'm going to go Hadji getting a goal again. So I hope that's the case. I hope that's what we're coming to you with in the reaction pod on Sunday. But Mate, that is coming up to the hour mark for this evening. That has been a quick hour, to be fair. It's been a quick hour indeed. First of all, I shall thank you, mate, for let me host, and yeah, it's been a cracking hour.
I don't let you host, mate. You can host any time that you like. Trust me, any time that you would like, you can host. No, pleasure, mate. Good to be on with you, mate. I hope everybody is staying safe during this kind of turmoil weather that we're having just now. And hopefully the game goes ahead on Sunday and we do see a Rangers performance. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for the donations as well. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be back on Sunday after the game with a reaction. But well hosted, Roscoe, young man, well hosted. You can do it anytime, mate. Anytime you like. I'll have a night off every night, mate. That's fine.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, we'll come back to you obviously on Sunday for a reaction to hopefully a good Rangers win. But until then, please stay safe out there. It is rather. I'm hoping that the wind hasn't picked up on my mic this evening, but please stay safe out there. Any travelling bears on Sunday especially. But thank you as always to everybody in the chat. We will see you on Sunday for a reaction. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll speak to you very shortly. Cheers, everybody.